One of the lucky people who happened to be liberated, survived and liberated. That I survived, or my sister survived, is beyond me. I've never been able to work it out. To this day, I mean, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the 27th of January is when my second birthday. I would imagine I should look at it that way.
Today marks the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, and world leaders joined approximately 300 Holocaust survivors at an event at the concentration camp to mark the day. More than 1 million people died at the Nazi concentration camp. Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief at truthrevolt.org, joins us once again from LA. Ben, this is one of these things that it touches, if you know the history, it touches deep, and it's one of those things that makes us say, never again. I'm not sure we live up to that never again in the face of the evil around the world, but it does make us feel that and think that. Your thoughts today?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I think that the entire world would like to say never again, but then they are also pursuing policies that make never again an impossibility. At the same time that Iran is developing nuclear weapons and the Western world sits by and watches, at the same time that Hamas is attempting to wipe Israel off the face of the earth and Europe moves to take them off the list of terrorist groups, it's pretty obvious that never again is nothing but a slogan that makes some Europeans feel better but really has no meaning. I mean, Jews are moving en masse out of Europe as we speak. The levels of anti-Semitism in Europe are at highs that we haven't seen for 70 years. So the fact that people are marking the liberation of Auschwitz today, that should be a lesson for the folks in Europe. I highly doubt that it is.
And you look at what's going on in the fight against ISIS. Yazidis being killed, Christian minority groups, towns of 50,000 either driven out or killed or forced to convert because, well, you're not the right type of Muslim, you're a Christian, so we will kill you for that. And there was debate about whether the world should get involved and do something to stop it or just sit by and watch it happen. I remember saying at the time, you cannot on Holocaust Memorial Day or on Remembrance Day, Memorial Day, sit there and say never again if you're going to allow this to happen. But time and again, we do let it happen. And I don't think we've learned the lesson from the liberation of Auschwitz.
Yeah, I think it's even more than that. I mean, it's one thing to say that it's not in the national interest to get involved in particular conflicts. That's at least an argument in favor of national interest that makes some element of sense. You can't be the world's policeman. I understand that. But on the other hand, to back regimes all over the world that actually perpetrate this kind of stuff, to make moves that actually are to the detriment of your own national interest and to allow people to die in the process, that really does demonstrate the cowardice that led to the Nazi regime in the first place. I mean, let's be straight about the Nazi regime for a second. It wasn't a matter of people stepping up and stopping the Holocaust in 1941 when the Holocaust really started. It was a matter of the world doing nothing in the 9 years between 1932 and 1941 when Hitler took power and then began to take all of these anti-Jewish measures. We see that all over the world. There's always, all of these punches are always telegraphed, and it's just a question of if you're going to step in and stop the punch or if you're going to wait till the punch lands.
All right, let's hear a quick clip from one of the survivors who was at the ceremony today. He says he couldn't actually tell you how long he was in the camp.
I am often asked how long I was in Auschwitz. My answer is, I do not know. But what I do know is that 1 minute in Auschwitz was like an entire day. A day was like a year, a month, an eternity. How many eternities can one person have in a single lifetime?
It's I can't comprehend. I've spoken to Holocaust survivors. I know you have it, and I still can't comprehend what they went through. I want to ask you this though, Ben. There is a movement on right now. And I think that anti-Semitism is the canary in the coal mine. I think it is an awful disease spreading throughout Europe right now. But there's an attempt by Jewish leaders to say, to prevent this sort of thing happening again, we need to criminalize anti-Semitism. I think that's the wrong way to go, and I don't think it's going to help Jews in Europe. I think it's going to help Islamists who want to see the Jews leave Europe and are helping push a lot of the anti-Semitism. Your thoughts?
No, I think that's right. I mean, I think when you're talking about hate speech and regulating speech, I don't think that anti-Semitism can be regulated away. Anti-Semitism is a learned trait. It's something that has to be taught. It's something that has to be effectuated on a cultural level. I don't think that simply banning people from saying things that are anti-Semitic is going to lead Europe to become some sort of halcyon place for the Jews. I mean, obviously, they've had laws like this on the books in France for quite a long time, and that has had very little impact on the rise of anti-Semitism in France. In fact, it's actually accentuated it. given the amount of resistance to the hate speech laws. So the only way that you're really going to stop anti-Semitism is when you have people all over the world recognize the reality, which is that the Jews deserve to live, that the Jews deserve to have their own state, that the Jews deserve to be able to live out their religion, that the Jews actually have something to contribute to the world. And until that happens, then anti-Semitism is going to continue. I agree with you that these sorts of laws are going to become an excuse for hampering free speech in a way that's actually going to end up redounding to the negativity of Western civilization, because it will be turned against them. Political correctness never ends up benefiting the actual people it's designed to benefit. It usually ends up hurting them.
I'm not sure you can answer this question in the minute we have left, but why are Jews, one of the world's smallest religious minorities, the epicenter of so much hate, or the focal point of so much hate?
I mean, I think there are a couple of reasons why anti-Semitism exists. I think the classical anti-Semitism springs from the fact that Judaism actually promulgates a certain set of values, and there are a lot of people across the world who hate that set of values and feel that that set of values is vile. That's true anti-Semitism. The ethnic anti-Semitism added by the Nazis was a later strain that was added on, and the Muslim world has grafted together the two. So they hate the Jews for who they are, and they hate the Jews for how they're born.
All right. Ben, all the best today. Thanks for joining us on this somber occasion. We'll talk to you.